Okay, so if you're looking to make a bit of extra money on the side with a referral, or you want to actually build out a full-time income, I'm going to show you how you can do it with this system. Now, first off, this isn't a one-size-fits-all solution. We're going to be consulting with the prospects that come in and giving them what they need based on their specific set of criteria, which I will show you here in a moment. Now, first off, you can see the different packages that we have along the bottom here. These are the commissions that you stand to make. So if the client ends up buying the cold traffic system, you're at $500 commission. Consulting is a $750 commission. The webinar is $1,500, and the webinar windfall method is $4,000. I'll explain all this in a moment. Now, as I said, we want to consult. We want to help here, right? So the people that come in and where they'll be sent is based on where they are in their businesses. So if they come in and they have a new untested offer, we're going to be selling them the cold traffic system, or we'll be recommending the cold traffic system. The reason for that is because the worst thing you can do is take a brand new offer or an untested offer and slap it on the back end of a webinar, because there's all those different elements with the webinar. You have registration rates, you have stick rates, you have show up rates, you have all these different things before they even see the offer by getting through the entire webinar. And then even once they get there, it's hard to diagnose if it's not selling, what the problem is. Is it the webinar is not properly selling the offer, or is it that the offer just isn't tested? It's not good enough to make sales on its own. So what we do is we take the offer and we flip it around, we put it on the front end, and we target the most aware level of the market and sell it to them. So this is essentially a proprietary system of Facebook ads and messenger bots. I mean, it's that system on steroids essentially, and it warms them up and it gets them to see the offer and makes the sale. And once we get that all tested out and we know that it's working, then we can take the offer and we can put it onto a webinar. So the cool thing is that this is just kind of the intro phase, and then it's brought back into the system to be sold at one of these higher levels, because now we know that we can take that offer and we can put it onto the back end of a webinar. So if they come in at $500 and then they end up buying this webinar package here, then I'll give you $2,000 in total, right? And I'll give you $500 here, and then I'll honor you at the same time and give you the other $1,500. Now, if they come in and they've already got a webinar, right? The offer is already tested, everything's great, and they've already got a webinar, but it's not converting, or maybe they come in and they just don't have the money to take one of these higher tier offers. I will offer consulting services for them. So I will actually help them build out the entire webinar. They'll do the work, but I'll be there helping them build it out. In which case, again, you get $750 for that. Pretty straightforward on that level. And then the next level up is just the webinar package. So this is the slide deck, the script, and the design. Okay. Now this is for people who are looking to split test. Maybe they already have an existing webinar and they want to throw a new webinar in there and see if it can outperform the one they have. This is for the DIYers that, they don't want to take on the webinar project, but they can build up the emails and they can do the registration pages and everything themselves. That's fine. But this doesn't necessarily mean it's only for the clients that are earlier on in their businesses. I've done just the webinar for very substantial businesses, like $25 million businesses. So it's not a matter of where they are in their business. It's just what they need. And so this is probably the top selling package. Definitely is where people will come in. Okay. And then we've got the premium done for you. So this is going to be the client. This will be the higher end clients. This will be someone who already has funnels existing in their business, but maybe they don't have a webinar funnel. And so they don't want to take on the task of doing all of that because it's such a colossal job. The webinar windfall method, again, it's a funnel that I created. It's a funnel framework based on best practices and everything that's out in the market, and bringing it in, pretty much doing everything for them. So it's just like, a turnkey solution of here's a webinar tacked onto your entire business. So, this is going to be not very many sales at this point, depending on who your market is or who you decide to pursue, who you connect with, but definitely, $4,000 commission there if they do come in at that level. Now, the great thing about this, as I said, is it all works together. So if the cold traffic system brings them in over here, it also takes them back to it. So the best way to launch a webinar is by launching it to an email list, because they're already indoctrinated. They already know you. This doesn't take as much selling or hype or excitement built to get them there and to kind of want to listen to you, right? If a total stranger presented a webinar to you versus a very well-known name in your industry, you're much more likely to go listen to the well-known name because they've already created that trust and they have something worth saying to you. So with all that said, once it's launched to the email, we want to maximize the amount of money that it makes, right? So then we feed it back into this cold traffic system. So this cold traffic system doesn't just work on new offers. It also works for webinars. So, they come in, they get this, we launch it to an email list. Everything is great. It's working perfectly. We pass it back into the cold traffic system and start generating traffic to it off of cold Facebook traffic. And so again, I would give you, if they came into the 1,500, you got the $1,500 commission. And then if they come back into this system, that's another $500 in your pocket, right? So you made $2,000 off of this entire referral. Then if you just want to start referring off, you don't have, they don't necessarily come in looking for a webinar, because just as I'm saying here, a new untested offer, we want to flip that around and we want to target the most aware part of the audience, right? The most aware audience in the market. And so there's a smallest segment of people exist here, just the same with the webinar. The smallest segment of the market exists knowing that they want a webinar. Most of them just want more sales. Most of them want more leads. So we need to sell them into the webinar later on. And so if you have someone who's saying, I need more leads, I need more sales, you can send them to me and I'll put them through the offer call. Now, the offer call isn't a discovery call or any of these kind of pseudo sales calls. What it actually is where I'll get on the phone with them and help them build out their entire offer. So I've got a framework which I call the Selling Water in the Desert framework. I'll run them through that. There's going to be huge value for them. It's literally the highest leveraged activity that you can do is by getting your offer right. And the great thing about this is that it spreads the widest net possible, because everybody who sells anything online needs a great offer. That's, nobody needs more Facebook ads. Nobody needs more emails. Everybody needs to focus on their offer first. So it brings everybody in, and then I can, send them off based on where they're supposed to be. But they get a lot of value from the offer call. It's not just, again, it's not a pseudo sales call where it's masquerading as value. Now, if you just want to send them there, that's great. So again, this is what I'm talking about so far is just if you have a referral or two, right? But if you really want to run with this, let's just delete this. If you really want to run with this, then what you're going to get is you're going to get marketing collateral, essentially. So you're going to get a VSL that I've created that sells the offer call. It's going to sell it's going to sit on a simple page with an application button. They apply and they'll be sent to your application page. So I'll create, if you're accepted, essentially, you apply for this. If you're accepted, then I'm going to create an application page for you, and you can embed that on your own page. So when they click on that, they fill out the application, it becomes your lead. It's really easy to track, nothing confusing, right? And then from there, I'll go through the applications. I'm not going to get on the offer call with absolutely everybody, but if they do qualify, then I'll get on the offer call with them. So the great thing about this is that you can send traffic to this. You can send email traffic to this. You can send Facebook ads to this, whatever you want to do. This is built to convert as much as possible. Now the offer call is going to be $99. If the person does take the offer call, right? If they're accepted and they take the offer call, I'll actually give you the $99. So if you're running paid traffic to this, or even if you're not, but if you're running paid traffic to this $99 could be a self-liquidating offer for you at the same time. So, or close to, so you recover all your ad spend as much as possible. And then they're sold into one of these levels down here. So that's the entire system. Yeah. And if you're interested in promoting this, you can apply below. If you have a referral or two already on hand, just pass them over to me and I'll speak with you and we'll see what we can set up for them. All right.